Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling something that literally affects every single cell in your body, yet somehow it's surrounded by more myths and outdated advice than almost any other wellness trend out there. We are going to completely demystify the science of hydration. We'll explore the actual biophysics of water, its hidden metabolic powers, and its profound, measurable impact on your lifelong health and longevity. To kick things off, I want to hook you with a question that might sound a little ridiculous at first. Are you drinking water wrong? I know, it sounds incredibly simple, right? But chances are you might be following rules that are actually scientifically obsolete. And those old rules could be leaving your brain foggy, your metabolism sluggish, and your body way under-optimized.
Okay, let's dive into this. We've all had that classic rule drummed into our heads since childhood. Drink 8 8-ounce glasses of water a day. Well, research from Abbott Nutrition and West Virginia University clearly shows that this is pretty much an illusion. Your fluid needs are highly individualized. They depend entirely on your unique body size, your daily physical activity, the altitude you live at, and the current climate. So instead of blindly counting to 8, a much more accurate, scientifically backed indicator of your hydration status is actually just the color of your urine. Pale yellow means you're perfectly on track, while dark amber, that is a blaring red flag from your kidneys.
And then there's another massive misconception that causes so much unnecessary anxiety: the myth that coffee dehydrates you. The scientific reality is actually quite different. While it's true the caffeine is a mild diuretic, meaning, it can slightly increase urine production, clinical studies show that for regular drinkers, your body just adapts. Those caffeinated beverages absolutely contribute to your daily total hydration, and you retain the vast majority of that fluid. Now, what's really interesting about this is just how liberating it is for your daily routine. You absolutely do not need to swear off your morning brew to meet your health goals. You can enjoy that warm cup of coffee completely guilt-free, knowing for sure that it counts as a valuable contribution toward your daily fluid intake. All right, let's move into part 1, the biology of hydration, zooming in on what's actually happening at the cellular level.
Have you ever heard of water-induced thermogenesis? It's a fascinating process where the simple act of drinking water acutely increases your body's metabolic rate. Essentially, water acts as a metabolic spark. When you consume fluid, especially cold water, your body has to expend real thermodynamic energy to absorb it and warm that fluid up to your internal core temperature of 37 degrees Celsius.
And check out this striking data point. Clinical research indicates that drinking just 500 milliliters of water can spike your metabolic rate by up to 30% for an entire hour. Over the course of a year, optimizing this natural biophysical reaction can lead to a really significant increase in your total energy expenditure. You are literally burning energy just by hydrating properly. How cool is that?
But water isn't just the metabolic spark. It's the actual structural foundation of your physical fuel. Exactly 2.7 grams of water structurally binds to every single gram of stored glycogen in your muscle tissues. This crucial binding process is what allows hydrolytic enzymes to access and rapidly release glucose when you exert yourself. Without that specific hydration ratio, your muscle fuel basically remains locked away in a vault, rendering you weak and sluggish right when you need to push hard.
Let's pan out a bit for part 2, brain and body performance, looking at the systemic effects.
Your brain is an organ of incredibly high metabolic demand, and it's composed of roughly 73% water. Think of a dehydrated brain like an overheating car engine. When fluid levels drop, functional MRI scans actually show that the dehydrated brain exhibits increased neuronal activation just to complete basic everyday tasks. It has to work significantly harder, fighting through this physiological friction just to maintain your baseline focus.
So, the crucial point here is identifying the exact moment this whole system starts to fail. Sports science pinpoints that threshold at a mere 2% loss of body mass in fluids. At this exact drop, athletic endurance plummets, your cardiovascular system gets stressed, muscle function is visibly impaired, and your cognitive reaction times are noticeably delayed. It's an incredibly tiny margin of error for optimal human performance.
And for those of us looking to push past those natural limits, sports science is continually evolving. Recent clinical trials featured in PubMed highlight the emerging benefits of hydrogen-rich water, or HRW. This specialized, supplemented water has been shown to successfully reduce the body's lactate response and actively alleviate delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMS, after heavy resistance training. It just goes to show how the exact composition of what we drink can totally optimize post-workout recovery.
Moving into part 3, aging, heart, and skin, we're reframing hydration as a long-term, lifelong investment. To start that long-term investment, you obviously need a baseline. Here are the clear guidelines straight from the Mayo Clinic and the National Academy of Medicine. They recommend a daily fluid intake target of about 15.5 cups for men and 11.5 cups for women. And remember, this includes your total fluids: water, your guilt-free coffee, herbal teas, and all the moisture naturally found in your food.
But how does this build over decades? Well, this timeline maps out a massive 30-year study conducted by the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute. Researchers tracked serum sodium levels, which is a primary clinical biomarker for hydration, in over 11,000 adults. They tracked them from midlife all the way through to their senior years to understand the true hidden toll of chronic underhydration.
And the data they uncovered was staggering. Adults who were chronically underhydrated in midlife, indicated by higher sodium levels in their blood, faced a shocking 39% higher risk of developing heart failure later in life. Basically, chronic dehydration thickens the blood, reduces plasma volume, and forces your cardiovascular system to pump under constant, exhausting stress, decade after decade.
And this brilliantly illustrates that the benefits of optimal hydration aren't just hidden inside your chest. They're visibly proven on your body's largest organ. Dermatology research shows that adding just 2 extra liters of water a day to your routine for 30 days measurably increases deep skin hydration and elasticity. It biologically fortifies your skin's barrier, specifically through aquaporin 3 water channels, completely from the inside out.
Which brings us to part 4, smart hydration strategies. Let's turn all this data into actionable steps.
Here is your quick, actionable cheat sheet. First, eat your water. Things like cucumbers, melons, and lettuce are mostly liquid. In fact, up to 20% of your total daily fluid intake can and really should come directly from your meals. Second, as we touched on earlier, monitor your urine color. Pale yellow is your ideal daily target. And third, balance your beverages. Water is always the gold standard for sure, but don't forget that teas, coffees, and milk also play a strong supporting role in hitting your targets.
Let's solidify this into a science-backed daily routine. Step 1, drink water first thing upon waking. You've just gone 6 to 8 hours without liquids, so your body is waking up in a state of mild dehydration. Step 2, sip consistently throughout the day. Your body absorbs water so much better in steady doses rather than chugging massive amounts all at once. Step 3, track your intake. Clinical trials involving kidney stone prevention show that behavioral adherence is incredibly difficult without tracking. Use an app or a smart bottle to guarantee you hit your physiological needs.
So we've completely shattered the 8-glass illusion, we've explored the metabolic thermogenic spark of cold water, and we've seen exactly how lifelong hydration protects your aging heart and skin. So I want to leave you with one final, provocative question to challenge your everyday habits. Now that you know the science beyond the basic 8 glasses, are you finally ready to truly optimize your body's most essential fuel? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Stay curious and above all, stay hydrated.